Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome to the AC Brown Show. I'm like, what? Happy Tuesday. We are here. We are going to continue from yesterday, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to everyone here. Jen! Hi, Jen. Sorry, I got too excited. Hi, Jen. How are you? Oh my goodness. Hi, Jen Lemon. Hello, hello, hello. Um, Anywho, welcome to the AC Brown Show. And I'm AC Brown. We are on night 23 of going live. We have 23, 24, 25, 26, 7 days left. 7 days left. 7 days left. 7 days left. Jen, I love you. You are amazing. Um, we have to Zoom or something to catch up. Please, just DM me. Just DM me, please, 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 please. Anywho, um, tonight we are going to talk from yesterday. We were talking about human design centers and how each of the centers kind of heals. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we can talk some more about the empath thing, okay? Because some people were, I was telling everyone that everyone's not an empath. You guys just don't have boundaries. So I want to talk about that tonight. So let's finish talking about the human design centers and how you can heal with them, whether you are defined, whether that center is defined or not. So if it is defined, it will be a color there. If it's not defined, it's going to be a white space. So there's the triangle, then there's the upside down triangle, then the diamond, your voice, then you have all, the G center, all of that stuff. So we will talk about that. So I'll start over with the emotional center or the emotional solar plex. So watch yesterday's live. We were talking about different ways that each human design aura type can heal and what type of healing methods they need. Now I want to talk about the centers. So if you have a defined emotional solar plex, which is the triangle pointing to your left on the bottom right, if it is defined, you need to process your emotions in waves. Healing requires emotional clarity, and you need decision time to ride through your emotions. Okay. I just heard your podcast, Stephanie Barron Hall. How do we go about discovering our human design? Oh, great. Love Steph. You can just Google human design chart, free human design chart. You will need your birth month, your birthday, and your birth year. Anywhere where you can get a free chart. I'm working on things on my website. My chart is not working right now, so I can't send you there. But you can just get a free chart. So you need your birth month, your birthday, year, and your birth time. And that's how you can get your human design chart. So if you have undefined emotional solar plex, you amplify others' emotions. And that's how we got started on the whole empath thing. You need to have emotional boundaries, and processing requires emotional space. Now, like I said, everyone's not an empath. Everyone has empathy. I think people confuse having a lot of empathy or even being highly sensitive for being empaths. But we'll get into that in a second. So if you have a sacral center, well, everybody has one, but if it's defined, meaning that you are either a generator or a manifesting generator, your sacral center will be defined. You need physical engagement to heal yourself, meaning lots of somatic things in the body. A lot of energy creates things leaving from your body. That is really important, okay? Now, if it's undefined, if you're a projector, a manifester, or a reflector, Rest is going to be very crucial for your processing. You need to have boundaries so you don't deplete your energy from other people. Your wisdom also comes through observation. So maybe you find someone else that heals a certain way, like observing other kind of healing techniques. Okay? So those are the main ones. Your emotional solar plex and your sacral center. So how do you create some healing spaces for your aura type, right? So if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, like I said, active, responsive environments. Anything that gets your body moving, gets the energy like out of your body. For projectors, it's going to be very quiet, insightful, introspective, kind of rest or somatics. Any type of body movement, meditation, massage therapy is really good for projectors. If you're a manifester, you just need some time alone in a quiet, private space that's autonomous to just anything. And then you can go off heal and then let people know what happened after that. Now, if you're a reflector, it's going to be cyclical, your healing journey. You're going to go through cycles. You're going to maybe work with someone for a few months or a few weeks and then be on your own and then do something else after that. So that's how it'll work. So those are some healing things. So who in here thinks that they're an empath? We'll start there. Who in here thinks that they're an empath? I want you all to raise your hand. Who thinks that they are an empath? Because we're going to talk a little bit about boundaries. Okay? We're going to talk about boundaries tonight. Okay. Who thinks that they're an empath? Anybody want to say who thinks that they're an empath? Jensen, I'm definitely not. I know I'm not an empath. Even though I'm psychic and I'm clairsentient, but I'm not clear empathic. That's a big difference. So, okay, there's a few people who think that they're empaths. Okay, not bad. So 90% of people who are claiming that they're empaths are usually just highly sensitive people with very poor boundaries. Okay. The empath label has become um, there's a lot of spiritual bypassing around that, a lot of codependency. So real empathic abilities are actually very rare. Okay. And they come with specific markers that most empaths don't have. So they're actually really rare. So will you have empathic qualities? Maybe. I do. A lot of people do. But are you a true empath? That's up for debate. And why do I say that? So here's kind of like the brutal reality about empath. There's a lot of codependency in spirituality that people don't talk about. So there's like people pleasing, dressed up as feeling other people's pain, inability to separate your emotions from other people's emotions, taking responsibility for other people's feelings and calling it like, oh, I'm, being of service to them. Using I am an empath and having poor boundaries and not any emotional regulation. That's why I say you might not be an empath. So what do real empathic abilities look like? Okay. So here's some, I don't want to say fake, but some imposter empathic signs. Constantly drained after being around people. Can't go to crowded places without feeling overwhelmed. Taking on everyone's problems for your own. Feeling responsible for other people's emotions. Of course, using I'm an empath on why you can't handle conflict. Or I even saw someone on Instagram, not on Instagram, on TikTok. She was conned 7 times by men and friends. And she's like, well, I'm an easy target because I'm an empath. And it's just like, no, girl, you don't have boundaries and you need to heal other parts of yourself. Needing constant validation for your sensitivity or performing emotional caretaking and calling it service. What are some real empathic abilities where you can sense specific emotions and the stories behind them? Okay. You receive clear information about people's inner states without asking. Okay. You can feel others' emotions, but you can maintain your energetic boundaries. That's another one. You use information for healing and not codependent rescue missions. And you can turn the ability on and off. That is a big key. You can turn your empathic ability on and off, just like me being a psychic and a medium. I can turn that on and off. Okay. And you don't get drained. You don't get drained around people or things because you know how to clear your own energy. And you also know how to serve others without losing yourself. Okay. So those are kind of empathic abilities. So what empaths are really avoiding? So people who, there's a lot of people, some of you all might actually be, but majority of people aren't. So what you're probably experiencing and calling it empathy or being empathic is you don't know how to regulate your own emotions when you're around others, in crowds, etc. You are taking responsibility for other people's reactions to things. Um, and you are not setting healthy boundaries with difficult people or people who are unhealthy and toxic. Okay. And those are some things. Are there human designs? There are some human designs. I like to say that if you do have an open emotional solar plex or a spleen, which are the two diamonds on the side, you could have empathic qualities. Okay. Um, but it's not, I think when people really learn how to emotionally regulate and create really strong boundaries, they will realize how um not empathic they are. And I'll use myself as an example. I used to be like, oh, I'm an empath, and but no, I have bad boundaries. Am I sensitive? Yes. But I know how to emotionally regulate now. So can I go places? Yes. Can I do it? Because I know how to turn this shit off. Okay. I don't consider myself an empath. Am I clairsentient? Absolutely. Clear empathic? No. Am I a medium and psychic? Yes, but I know how to turn it off because I have boundaries. I'm not just all willy-nilly out there like, oh, let me feel you. Oh, you're sad. Let's cry together. Or let me feel your pain. No, I don't. So I want you to think about that. Okay. Yeah, learning how to regulate is an ongoing process, especially right. If you didn't write correct. And so here's another thing too, as I'm learning on my journey, just personally, and also a lot of the trainings and different things, a lot of children who grew up with emotionally immature parents or in toxic environments or have had some type of little t trauma or big T trauma, they labeled themselves as empaths when actuality you were just in environments that dysregulated your nervous systems and you don't know how to regulate them. And so, yes, you're more sensitive. Yes, you feel more sensitive when people get upset, or you feel that when people are happy or joy, because that's how your nervous system learned how to process and pattern recognize when energy shifts and things change because of your childhood. So, my assessment and my goal, learn how to regulate your nervous system and then see if you still have those empathic qualities, because 9 times out of 10 it's just not regulating your emotions and your nervous system. That's my experience. Okay. So, being hyper aware of everyone's emotional state because you are very aware because of survival mode, that's hypervigilance. So, that could also be something too that's not empathic. Um, Emotional caretaking is not healing work. So feeling responsible for people's healing and things like that, and feeling guilty for their emotional states, that's just kind of codependent, right? If you feel like you're absorbing energy or you say something like that, like I said, you don't know how to separate your emotions from maybe someone else's emotions. Okay. That's more of enmeshment. Okay. And you're not, so most empaths are sort of emotional voyeurs, right? Looking at the emotion. So you're not helping people by feeling their pain at all. You're getting an emotional hit from their drama, from their toxicity. And if you are empathic, you'd know how to transform their suffering, not kind of marinate within it. I've been led astray all my life. Listen, that's why I'm here. I want to keep it real with y'all. That's why I'm here. I promise you, everybody who's claiming they're empath, they're not. If as soon as I find out their background, how they grew up, some trauma that they've had, I'm like, oh no, you're not empath. You don't know how to regulate your emotions. That's all. Your nervous system's out of whack. Okay. So it's okay. Um, it's fine. Just kind of know that there is a healing path, right? And it is emotional regulation, nervous system healing, setting really, really strong boundaries. And it's going to feel like you're being mean, but you are not. These are normal things that people shouldn't be able to penetrate, okay? At all. All right. So, calling yourself an empath when, like I said, you have poor spiritual boundaries. Okay. So, what does actual spiritual sensitivity look like? Okay. Clear information reception. So, you receive specific knowledge behind the emotion about people's emotional inner state. So, the information comes with context and background. Okay. You know things you couldn't have known without normal means. The knowing feels different from an emotional reaction. So there's also energetic boundaries. You can sense other people's energy, but without taking it on. Or you know how to clear what's not yours in your body and get rid of it. So like every time I have a medium session, I do a clearing after, and I can do the clearing while I'm using the bathroom. Like it's not, I just kind of push it out, whatever. And so those are some things. You don't get drained by feeling other people's emotions. So you can turn your sensitivity on and off. So now what methods for nervous system healing? Now that's a lot because that's going to take time. So nervous system healing takes time. Okay. Nervous system healing is something that you are literally, and how we talked about manifestation and nervous system healing go hand in hand. In my mind, in my opinion, you're still going to have to work your way up to where you want to go. You're going to have to, and the only way you'll know you're healed, unfortunately, is when you're in situations that used to trigger you that possibly no longer trigger you. So just avoiding it is not regulating it. Okay? It's a process. There's so many ways to regulate your nervous system. You know, we'll have to talk about that. And so I can get like the specific ways because it's going to be very different for everyone. Yoga, Tai Chi, those are some exercises that regulate your nervous system. Really being within your body, doing like I learned in one of my like trauma informed kind of certifications, doing like this shaking. Animals do, I forgot the name of it, but animals do this shaking like after they get like attacked in the wild, and then they like play dead for a little bit, and then they like do this shaking to like get it out their bodies, and then they get up and they go about their business. So shaking, putting putting like an ice bath in your face every time. There's this technique that I do. It's called NSA, which I love it. It is a chiropractic technique. There's not a lot of NSA people, but it's called network spinal analysis. That's another way to regulate your nervous system, network spinal analysis. I love it. It's hard to find different, it's part of chiropractic care. Going to the chiropractor, your nervous system is attached to your spine. So everything there is good. Getting massages, anything that has to do with the body is going to be really important. Okay. Yeah, shaking mamas, all of that stuff. I definitely need nervous system healing, working in toxic environment. What questions do you all have about this? But because I wanted to, talk about that. Yeah, it's called NSA. It's called Network Spinal Analysis. That's what it's called. It's a very good technique. I love it. It's not. It feels like I can't explain it. It's like they're barely touching you, but they're opening up different pathways based off of your available stuff in your spine. It works. That's all I can say. It works. It works. I love it. It works. It works very, very well. Okay? It works very well. Any questions? This is a quick one tonight. Any questions about being empathic? Oh, Krynos. Yeah, I've heard of that. Kranos, Scout, Sacral Therapy. There's so many therapies to regulate your nervous system. But somatic therapy, there's so many different things. Maybe we'll talk about that before my 30 days live is up. I can't believe I'm almost done. So I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I'm being honest. Maybe because I announced it and I was like, I cannot yeah, I can't not do it. So, but yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? But I had a long day today. But it's all right. I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30. Tomorrow's 6:30, and then the rest of the days. So Thursday, Friday, 7, Saturday, Sunday, 11, and then Monday and Tuesday, 7. Okay. What's the best way for a generator to work on this? You have to move your body as a generator. You have to move your body. You got to move your body. You have to, I would even recommend all of the aura types, but generators, manifesting generators, especially projectors, going to one of those rage rooms where you go and hit stuff, and some of them are like $20 for 30 minutes or like $50 for 30 minutes, and they set up stuff and you can smash things. You put on protective stuff. You can smash windows, TVs, all sorts of stuff. I recommend you doing something like that, because that helps you get the emotions and the pain out of your body. Someone said, mind is blown. I feel like I've called myself an empath before. It was in 2020 as a child, I called myself an empath. But yeah, this makes all sense. Yes, but yeah. Yeah, rage rooms are great. I'm going to try and go to one because I need to get some stuff out. But rage rooms are really great. If you can try and go to a rage room, that would help a lot. Because a lot of, especially most of the people watching this are women. A lot of our stuff in our body, the trauma is really anger, and we're afraid to be angry. So yeah, no wonder I feel better after I dance. Yeah, you got to move. You said some imposter syndrome signs is empath, but there are their true signs. Yes, I did go over the true signs of it. Yeah, there are people who are empaths. You can turn it on, off. There's tons of things. But I'm gonna end this because I have to eat. I didn't eat all day. Well, I did eat all day, but the last thing I had was a can of tuna with some stuff on it. So I want to eat. I had a long day today. But I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30. So I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for rocking with me again. we have 7 more days left after this, guys. So yay. So I'll see you all tomorrow. All right. Bye. Doo-doo-doo.